Hello, my friends. Today I'm going to explain why I am a freedom fighter and what I am fighting for. Here on my t-shirt is written, Religion is heilbar. This means religion can be healed. In my eyes, especially Christianity is a very dangerous disease because it cancels your by nature giving a wish for equality, and it makes you believe that it is the best to be a slave. I was born in 1962 in Frankfurt am Main into a petit bourgeois family. My father had made a career and he came from the proletariat, and my mother came from the middle class. My parents had huge problems, and so my mother decided to leave my father. So we traveled to Canada, where I was very short time in the school, and I grew up in Portugal. 1982, I made my Abitur, the license to study in Hanau am Main. It's near Frankfurt am Main. And then I've been for 11 years in West Berlin before the fall of the wall. After that, I lived in Aschaffenburg am Main. That's the city my parents come from. And I worked as a freelancer in software development specialized on databases. Today, I am convinced that I have superb genes, and although there were big problems in my education because my mother and my parents are both mentally ill, my father and my mother, they are both psychopaths. They are sadistic. At least my father is sadistic by his emotions. My mother is sadistic by maybe without wanting to be sadistic by her deeds, what she is doing. Especially my mother is very narcissistic, and especially my father is extreme Machiavellistic. This means he is able to kill people just for 1 cent. Of course, he didn't do this. My parents both still live, and I have no contact with my father because he's a fascist. And I have contact to my mother, although she is a fascist, I still have, and she supports me a little bit. Emotionally, she speaks to me, and she's the only person I have contact to. I suffer also from I'm a little bit narcissistic, and when I was young, I was addicted to alcohol. I also took cannabis, and I also was addicted to sex, and I had huge depressions. Today, I believe that the capitalistic system is evil, and capitalism and Christianity, at least how it is explained and taught by the Roman Catholic Church and the in the Protestant church in Germany, Christianity and fascism, they are very similar, and capitalism. Yes, I believe, and I guess many people will now doubt and think, oh, he must be crazy. This is what 90% of the people, when I talk to people on the streets, I tell them that I am getting tortured by the system, and they believe I am crazy. But now I will tell you something you might, if you are without fantasy and naive, then you might think this man who is talking here on YouTube, he must be crazy. But I tell you that I believe that I was picked, I was recognized, I was scanned by a very elaborate psychological treatment in the school. The teachers, they figured out that I have huge potential to become a freedom fighter. There are especially two things important to become a freedom fighter. You must be risen up in extreme social inequality. Nobody took care of me. My mother was weak. She had no time, and she is also not good educated, especially in psychological. In psychology, she doesn't know anything or almost anything. So nobody took care of me when I was living as a child in Portugal. No neighbors. Absolutely nobody. Well, I had an uncle. He had never not a minute time for me. He was rich, and his wife, my aunt, she also was weak, and she did not care much about her 5 children. But as she was rich, they had a gardener, they had a cook, and they had money for to help educate their children, but she would never take much care about me. Well, she is my aunt and not my mother, so, and she, of course, she is also fascistic. I'm convinced of this. All people here in Germany or in Europe and in almost all are fascistic, and I'm very alone being an anti-fascist. Yeah, I believe in school, maybe I don't know, maybe a third of the teachers I had when I was small. I was in Portugal. I was not going to a Portuguese school, but this was a German school, and the teachers, they figured out. This is a theory. I can give you no proof. The teachers figured out that I have a huge potential to get a strong freedom fighter because of my intelligence. I have more intelligence than other, but I was very bad at school. I did not make my homework, and I felt like sitting in a prison. And today it has made me depressive. I had almost no contact to other children. I was very isolated. My mother would not care, and well, I had 2 sisters at least. I could fight with them and sometimes even love them, but there were hard struggles between us. And I believe that these teachers intentionally tried to weaken me. But it's a long time ago, And I realized that nobody in Germany, nobody will agree to this theory because it is evil. And of course, as I am saying, this could be, and I believe today that it has happened to me, that I was treated especially bad and got no attention, no empathy, and no assistance through my teachers. So I say this is a part of the fascist system. Um, well, but they did not only want to tear me down and put me all on the bottom. They just, this is my theory, looked that I would not get really a kind of star or really figure out that I have more capacity than other people have. Well, it took about 50, in the age of 50, I realized that I am a better thinker than the others. Well, then as I mentioned, in 1982, I made my Abitur in Hanau. I finished the school, and I was 20, and the state already started to massively influence and infiltrate my life. Today, I believe my first girlfriends, my first 3 girlfriends that I had in Hanau, I think they were paid from the state, so they were agents. And today, I believe that the 3 girlfriends I had in Hanau, that they were agents and they got paid by the German state. I always wanted to love my girlfriends, and it felt very bad. It really destroyed me that my love was not given an answer. My love was in vain. Okay, then I went to Berlin to study politics, and I had problems, as I mentioned, with alcohol. I was very isolated. Today, I believe that this isolation is what they wanted, what the social politics in Germany specialized in. But I can't explain all with agents. I think there is also stupid thinking of the people. This has to do with status. If somebody has no girlfriend, no car, no house, no friends, no relatives, if somebody has absolutely nothing, then he must be waste. Then especially women won't be interested in such a man. And even if you are a great thinker, as I already was, but I didn't realize it. And today I believe that a third of the professors are working for the German state, and they influenced me heavily. I thought it would be my decision to stop studying politics. I'm convinced they made a decision to box me out, but very subtle means I did not detect. I tried to study computer science, but I did not succeed because I had too much depressions. after I was kicked out from the university. But as I told, from looking from outside, it appeared as if I had stopped studying and said goodbye. But today I say I was influenced, I was naive, and I would not, I had no assistance, nobody I could talk to, nobody took care, and especially my two sisters, they began, they are Catholic, when I was 18, my life was very, my socio-psychological status was extremely bad. I also had a problem with robbery. I was stealing small, cheap goods from big warehouses. And today I say the best thing I did was when I was 18, I went to the authorities and told them, just I want to quit with the Catholic Church. Today I say this is stupid and it is unjust that people can automatically be Christians when they are born. I think this is evil, this is terror against babies, ideological terror. Well, I achieved doing this step, but I did not know that I would become what I am today, really radical against the Catholic Church, especially. I say he is the most, it's the biggest international legal terror organization, and I say the Pope is a terrorist, and we have to put him into jail until the rest of his life because he is so dangerous. This is my opinion, and I am happy that I am able to say this without going to jail, because in Germany we have freedom of speech and freedom of opinion, and this comes from people, from men, brave men like me. This is not an invention from the fascists. This is from the freedom fighters. This right comes. So my sisters, they married not only they both married in a church. They would not have to marry in the church, but they are Christians, they are Catholic, and they did not take care about me when I was studying in Berlin, because they were studying in Heidelberg. That's the town where I live today. And of course they also had their problems, but this was the beginning of our divorce, of our going different ways, and today they won't assist help me in any way, because I told them that I'm in a very urgent situation. And I am, especially my isolation makes me suffer. But I don't want money from them. All I would wish is that they would invite me once a week so I could drink a cup of tea with them. But they are stupid, and they are fascists, and they are egoists and narcissistic, and I guess a bit Machiavellistic too. The funny thing is that such people without love, with hate, like my younger sister, she is a teacher in a German school. So the state has no problem with such women. She makes money, and my other sister, my older sister, she has a house. It's small, but it's a house. So she also has, at least in materialistic ways, she is secured. Yes, I today I am convinced that all friends I had since school, these are especially two two friends. One who is a teacher today and that school where we were a pupil. He is also Christian, and he invited me to his marriage with his wife. He has 3 daughters, and I'm convinced he is an informeller Mitarbeiter, an informal clerk, and yeah, I did not have much contact to him, but after my daughter was born, I moved to Aschaffenburg. This was 1993, and then he got in contact with me. But why would he get in contact with me? I am convinced it must be that he is an agent. And today he does not support me. He does not answer any letter, any email. He does not pick up his phone. As my sisters, they do the same. My daughter also, since 10 years, she quit the contact, and the woman her mother, I was living with her 22 years. I mean, of course, she was sad that I was leaving her, but after a while, normally maybe after a while, normally, if you were 22 years with somebody together, after a while, then you can drink a cup of coffee and talk about our daughter, what our daughter is doing, and what she, how we could assist her. But no, she's not interested in. Well, one friend from my school, he is called Joachim, and he is 100% agent. Yeah, and he is really evil, and I did not realize this because I had no other friends, and I just looked away about his evil doings against my person. For example, he offered me a female sex slave. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I would have said, "Oh, why not? Maybe it's fun to have to have something from my bed." Well, I would have gone to jail. That's for sure. And I'm happy I did. I told him I'm not interested. And of course, he did not say sex slave. He said there is a black woman he knows. She's a friend of him, and she has no documents to stay in Germany. She has no German passport, and she is illegal in our country. And she would cook and clean my whole flat, and all she would want is 20 euro per month or nothing. And she would serve in the bed. Come on, it is incredible. It is incredible, and I of course today I think, why didn't I realize that he is an agent? And of course this is not the proof that he is an agent. No, I'm not saying this, but I'm absolutely convinced. Once about since 10 years I'm living here in Heidelberg, and about 5 years ago I wanted to build my own school in my flat. I gave papers to people in the street at the university, and it was written, we work together on philosophy, and I did not want to have money. It was just fun to think about the world and justice and freedom and so on. And 5 persons came I don't know, 3 women, 2 men or something like that. And I did not realize that, I guess all of them, but maybe only 3 of them, were agents. And they destroyed my school. They destroyed it by talking nonsense, not following my advice. I thought they are stupid and what shall I do? I did not realize that this state, which claims to be a free state, destroyed my school, and through this they destroyed a part of me. Because I wanted to give love, my life, give my life to this project, to these people. Yeah, 2 days ago I watched a YouTube video. It's from TFI Global, a very good Indian news company, and there was a Chinese sociologist, and he told that the people in China under the age of 25, they to 90% they think China is the best in the world. And it was so funny because China at the moment has huge problems. They have power blackouts. They have extreme problem because there are no, they don't give birth, what is good in my eyes, because there are too much people in this world, and the country is very polluted, especially the water. The water is very polluted and poisoned, and they also had a lot of floodings, and many companies like American and Japanese and Korean companies, they transform their factories to the Philippines, to India and other countries because of the lack of political stability in China. Well, when I was watching this, I thought, that's funny. And I think this Chinese, it is interesting and true. But the funny thing is, in Germany, it's almost the same. People under the age of 30, they don't realize how much my wisdom could help them. And especially women don't realize that I am the liberator. They won't accept this. They say, if you have a penis, you can't speak about feminism. Most of them are so incredible stupid, so I should not think about liberating women at all anymore. On the World Women's Day, I think it is in a March, it was the last March, March 21, I was in Heidelberg at the Universitätsplatz, at the university place, and I asked them, can I speak to the women on this demonstration? And they said, no, you can't. So stupidity has no limits. Stupidity is incredible. And the young people, they don't realize that I am a very special character, that I'm a unicum, we say a unicat, that I'm singularity. There is nobody like me. Nobody who has thought about religion so much and justice. And most people know Karl Marx, but for example, Max Stirner, nobody knows, and Friedrich Nietzsche, he gets completely wrong interpreted by these stupid Christians. Yes, this hurts. This hurts because we live in a dictatorship of information. And yeah, since 2 years, I'm getting tortured in this flat by noise with high impedance, 24 hours, 7 days a week. But it was extreme, but in the last month it got better. I guess the state, but maybe a poor man, broke into my flat, he has stolen 200 euros, and I also was stolen some documents. And when I leave my flat, then there are agents chasing me like a rabbit. If I walk through the forest, normally when people are working Mondays in the morning, you maybe one people or two people you will see. But when I was walking, there were like at the main station, 20 people surrounding me. And you may think, well, that's funny, and how does the state have so much money? Yes, this German state is very rich, and they always say security. Security is so important. So the expense for police for this kind of work, they have money. It does not matter. Money does not matter at all. And what you maybe can't imagine is that this puts an extreme stress on you, really extreme, and it makes you to feel like a paranoid man, but a sick, paranoid schizophrenia. This is what I'm convinced that I'm not having this illness, this mental illness, because I'm very metacognitive. I have studied a huge amount of psychology, many years in my life. And it is incredibly hurting me that my mother tells me she thinks that I'm mentally sick. So this started 2 years ago, breaking into my flat, torture by noise, extreme noise, and by getting chosen in public, also in the streets. But they don't chase me with pistols, with guns. I was never beaten. I never got a paper on which was written they will kill me. Never they attacked me with a knife or something like that. And so if I walk through the streets, most people won't realize that there are agents surrounding me like the king of the bees is surrounded from drones. It is incredible. So I wrote a letter, I phoned the police, and I wrote a letter to the police and also to the court. And what happened? Interesting. Nothing. They would not even respond to my complaint. They would not ask when did they break into your flat? What did they steal? Who is following you? Where does the noise come from? No. So I think it is absolutely obvious that the German state is torturing me heavily. This is forbidden, as Germany has signed the International Charter Against Torture. My nerve system is extremely low. It is hurt. It hurts very much. And I am convinced I won't live long because of these extreme portions of stress. I walked very much in the last years to get release and to stop the stress. But when I walk through the forest and I get chosen in the forest, it's horrible. It is you cannot imagine how hard this life is. It makes me depressive because I have not one single friend. It's only my mother and an aunt of me with whom I have a bit contact. Of course, they are fascists without knowing and wanting this. They are fascists by values. They were manipulated by the National Socialistic system, educated in school under Adolf Hitler, and they did not realize how their life was destroyed by false values. And false values are especially materialistic values. And the positive values are, in my eyes, discourse, talking together. But nobody will talk with me. And as I thought this is a legal system, and people want to protect democracy and fight for democracy and for state of law. So I contacted politicians, many famous people, organizations like Amnesty International. But guess what? All these people, musicians, art institutions like the job center or Sozialamt or my health insurance, my bank where I have my account. No, nobody would answer my letter, and especially with human rights organizations like Amnesty International, it is incredible. But this is also a part of the torture, is that I don't know which legal, what is legal. I have no lawyer who is fighting for me and protecting my rights. I don't even know if the German state, if it is legal, if the German state, if I send an email to the SPD, if it is legal that the German state just deletes this email, or if I write, dear sirs, I'm getting tortured, if they change the text to, dear sirs, how is your day? I have no idea. I just say, this is evil. This is exactly the definition of well, not the definition, but for me, this is exactly the proof that here that I am living in a fascist country, really, really bad country. My thoughts about freedom is especially about it is especially that I am against the capitalistic system, and my enemies, the fascists, they think everybody who is against the system must be a communist. But I say, no, I'm not a communist, not at all. I'm a social liberal, but most people don't know what social liberal means. And I'm a liberal because I like freedom, of course. And a long time I did not. I thought I am also neoliberal, because neo means new. So these are the new liberals. Yes, of course. I thought I am a neoliberal, but then I figured out, and this I am telling this to you because most articles on politics and most people don't know about these basic, don't have any basic knowledge. Liberal and neoliberal normally means antisocial, but I am social liberal. But I did not realize that neoliberal means anti, and this means if you have no job, well, then you're not working hard, then you're not trying enough. If you have no money, well, it's your freedom to die, to starve. It's your freedom. This is a radical freedom. But I say, my freedom stops there where the human rights of any other human being on this planet is getting hurt. And my radical ideas of helping to this capitalistic system to improve it very quick, very fast, and very good in my eyes is to give 100% taxes for heritage. So if a millionaire dies, all his million shall go to the state. I think this is incredible that it seems that I'm the only one who has this idea. And it is incredible how stupid people are, that especially small people, that they don't realize how unjust it is. One man or one woman has parents who have millions, and the other has parents who have debt. Come on, what is this? Has nothing to do with fairness. Proudhon said property is robbery. He is completely right. But I'm not so radical that I say property, or at least I say, I am radical. I'm against property, of course, no doubt. But I say building a political party which says we stop private property. I say this will have no success, and I say we don't have to be so radical. It's not. It does not have to be. This one point is 100% of the property goes to the state after your death. This is the most important point for me. And the second point is sales taxes are stupid, economically seen, because it's good if people buy goods. That's good for our economy. And income taxes are also stupid, because it's good if people try to get good income. This is what I want. I don't want to demotivate people. But what the problem of capitalism is, it's the accumulation of the capital. If somebody has more than €1 million, I say that's too much. Yes, I say that clearly. So I say it shall be a progressive taxation on property. This shall be the only tax people have to pay. Anybody who has less than 1 million property does not have to pay any taxes. And if you are Jeff Bezos, he would, in my system, he would get from a billionaire back to owning 1 million in about 10 years, or I don't know in how fast I would put this taxation, how fast he would lose his money. But this would be the solution, because it is so unjust. This accumulation of capital is so unjust, because capital means power, and this power is often a very fascistic, cruel, unjust way used to torture people like me. Yes, after a while, about a year after I wrote this letter to the police, please help me, I'm getting killed. Guess what? They have been disabling me. So the state treats me like somebody who is mad. And I tried to protest against this. But I realized the law is no law anymore in Germany. This is just like a theater. It's just a show. It's just a game. Of course, they still, if they are for advance in their sense, then they refer to laws. But laws who protect me, they forget. I told my landlord I want to go out. I want to leave his flat. This was more than a year ago. And we have an institution, it's called Wohnungsnotstelle, Emergency Authority for Emergencies for people without living room. I wrote them a letter, and guess what? They did not offer me since any information, any help. So the German state, it's really fascistic. It is really sick. It is really going wrong. It's really crazy. And nobody knows about me. I asked many journalists, investigative journalists, if they want to write about me. No, nobody wants to write. So maybe I guess I'm not the only freedom fighter in Germany and fighter for human rights and fighter against fascism and against capitalism. Maybe there are thousands, 10,000s, or even 100,000s, and I believe that maybe 3% or 5% of the people in my country are working, are getting paid for destroying people like me. Yeah, it is a dictatorship of information we live in. It is incredible that a newspaper in Heidelberg, it's called Rhein-Neckar-Zeitung. No, they are not interested. They said, can you give proof? How shall I give proof that these are agents, these people? In English, there's also the word gang stalking. I've did not find much in the internet about getting chastened by agents. But if you type in YouTube, gang stalking, you will find some cases. But it is strange, and no one is saying yes, that's the state. I am convinced that this fight against anti-capitalists like me is also done in Switzerland and in the Netherlands, because I tried to get political asylum in Switzerland and in the Netherlands. I was 2 weeks in the Netherlands. I also got chastened. I also got attacked extremely, but nobody is interested. Nobody is interested how I was attacked psychologically in the Netherlands. I went to the police. They just made a show. They said, yeah, we have no idea who is after you. Yeah. Of course, they wanted, this is only my imagination, because if people would know how this state works, how criminal they are, how our politicians are terrorists, if they would know, they would say, come on, this is a scandal. This is a huge scandal. And I tell you, I will fight for the truth, and I want to get rehabilitated. I want to get money. Yes, my whole life was destroyed, especially through female agents, and especially from those who told they would be my friends, but they got money. And yeah, that's what I believe. And I'm still getting tortured. Yeah, okay, I told my landlord I want to go out of my flat, and normally this is no problem if you say you will go out of your flat. But I got a letter, and it is written I have to pay a fine of 1,000 euro if I don't come to the court, and they want to speak with me about my flat. But I won't go to this appointment, because come on, if you want to sell your car, you sell your car. You have the freedom. I think I have the freedom to leave my flat. This is none of their business. But of course, they want to massage my brain. They want to kill my brain, my resistance. They want to break my resistance. This is very ideologically, and they know that I'm a very dangerous man, because my words I can explain politics and philosophy better than they can. So this is the fear, that I could get power. And I have no idea, maybe tomorrow they will bring me to psychiatry. I looked in the Wikipedia about psychiatry as method of repression. And there was written that in Hessen, about, I don't know, 10 years ago, there were 5 people who are working for the state to investigate in corruption. And they found that there is a huge corruption ongoing. And the boss of them, a German authority, said they are mad, and they went to psychiatry. So this was a scandal, and I think it is absolutely incredible. And this is what they are trying to do with me. They are trying to say this guy is mad, and yeah, don't believe him. yeah. And I see that the numbers of impressions on YouTube of my videos, that I already have 3 videos put on YouTube, and these numbers, I want to tell you, I am convinced that they could be fake. I don't say they are completely fake. I don't say I have proof of fake. This is just my fantasy. Especially all the internet, you can manipulate extreme, and YouTube shows me, for example, 20 impressions. This means 20 people has seen the video, the picture of the video before starting it. I want to believe that these are 20 impressions, or I already got 20 impressions. Of course, I want that my message spreads on the whole world. Also because I want to tell my brothers and sisters who are fighting for freedom in this world, I want to express them my solidarity and tell them that I'm very isolated here in Germany, because all people around me don't realize how this capitalistic system exports terror, exports injustice into other countries, also into China. But of course, the weakest countries are affected most by this terroristic system, which is supported extremely by Christian ideology. I mean, one of the laws of Jesus was don't steal. But what is capitalism else than stealing? The capitalist has an idea. He buys land, he buys a house, he builds a house, he gets workers, he pay them their wage, and he makes a profit. And this profit, he does not, he should share the profit. If there are 10, if he has 9 employees and he has 1, then the profit should be, if it would be just, the profit would have to be shared through 10. So everybody gets a 10th of the profit of the company. This would be just. And this is what I fight for. And as I mentioned, I'm not a communist. I'm very against the Communist Party of China. I say this is not communism at all. The same in Cuba. This is also not communism, because communism is the idea of justice, social justice. This is what I stand for and what I fight for. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.